We have an agenda which is relatively light, and then we will break for an executive session for personnel matters. If you guys are okay, let's hop right into, well, first, why don't we see if anybody has any public comments? Dr. Johnson? Okay.
No, thank you very much.
And Dr. Johnson, I will follow up with you regarding the auditorium. Okay.
Wonderful, thank you.
Moving down the list, 1 through 8, typical motions. We have kind of the facts, approval of bills, etc. We will have student recognition, and then we will have the enrollment report ready for Monday as well. Number 12, this is to vote on a representative for the East Region for PSBA officers, and also for a sectional advisor. The sectional advisor, there is a candidate from Carbondale. Otherwise, there are no other local candidates that are on the ballot. So.
A write-in, Rick?
No, I think the nominations are already set. That was in the information that went out last week, the full list of all the items that can be elected. I don't know if you do want to cast a vote for, I mean, these were just examples because those are the areas where we have voted in the past. You can vote for all of them that were on that email that I sent forwarded to all of you, or none of them, but it's your choice. But I just need some direction for the agenda for Monday night.
Not crazy about that.
I mean, if we do, in the past we have, because there have been people that, it was a local man, he was a board member at Wallenpaupack, I believe, and a lot of people on our board knew him and didn't want to cast a vote for him. So we've voted in the past, but not every year. I mean, so whatever, if you want us to take that off and just not vote for anyone, that's fine. If you feel that you want to vote for somebody.
Anybody know the gentleman from Carbondale? Remember?
Yeah.
He's a doctor, he's a doctor.
Well, then he's gotta be good.
Okay.
Then he's gotta be good.
He's
gotta be good.
Gary Smithly is the board member from Carbondale that's running for the
And we don't know.
sectional advisor for section 4.
I'm okay if we take it off.
Okay, I'll take it.
No, it's Smith.
It's not going to affect the outcome, and it doesn't really affect where
She
we're
said
still
he's
in.
doctor for his name.
You'll have representation either way. It's just a matter if you want to cast a vote for a specific individual.
Frown upon if we don't.
If you guys feel it's all important, we will. If not, we'll take it off. One last thing.
I'm neutral with it, you can, but you
Yeah, I think especially not knowing anyone.
pass on
Yeah,
it.
is that all right? Anybody else have a thing? Or they? All right. All right, Rose, you ready?
All right, I will remove that one from the agenda.
Number
Thank
8,
you.
I'm sorry, number 13, these are overnight trips for orchestra, band, as well as PA Junior Academy of Science. So not all of these will happen, it all depends on who qualifies and makes it to that next level, but some of these, such as like the district ones, that they will have students represented there, as well as the PA Junior Academy of Science, those will take place. Number 14, we do have 2 new band contracts. Those are the ones right there. 15, we have contract extensions for transportation due to student need and extending some of those runs. We do have a correction from, was this?
Yeah, they had she did. The correction is that it's South Canaan to New Story. I think it had it listed as South Canaan to LaSalle.
LaSalle.
It was an incorrect location of where they were traveling.
Thank you. Number 17 is a textbook approval for English language arts. This is the second part of the program that we started last year with the elementary portion. This is the 7 through 12 portion, and making sure that we did have that available for review. out here
If you want
at
this
your
back,
leisure.
I brought it over if you wanted to peruse on your own leisure. Program is through a law bill, it's called Study Sync, it's for 6 through 12. We bought the program in its two parts. So one is the bound consumable, which is unitized, so they're not this large for the students. They're super thin actually, and they're distributed by unit. And the other part is online. So if we ever were to go to a one-to-one initiative, we would have that ability very seamlessly. Teachers have access to both so that they can kind of go back and forth throughout their lessons using the online portion and using the book portion. There are thousands, literally thousands of novels and excerpts of novels that come included with the digital program. The feedback has been incredible. The assistive technology that comes along with this program is out of this world. Things like that we never had, capable for all of our students to be able to be more individualized teaching. For example, if a teacher is teaching a lesson on one of the readings, the text will appear on the screen. They can have it read aloud, and as the real person is reading it aloud, it will chunk the text with a highlighter. They can slow down the pace for our students who may need a little bit of a slower version. There's a ton. There's a ton of vocabulary that can be easily defined. You just click on the highlighted word. Comprehension questions that come along with them are guided by the standards that are given in Pennsylvania. All of the questions in TDA's text-dependent analysis are also standard-based. That's off the top of my head. It's a really great program. Take a look. If you have any questions, feel free to ask anyone else.
Are each of those separate?
This is just
books, or
8th
that
grade.
4 copies of the
No, this is one full unit 1, 2, 3,
Okay,
4.
I didn't know if they were just.
But again, like I said, they're unitized, so our students are not receiving those traditional huge textbooks. They're just getting one slimmer version of the first unit, and then the second unit will come after they're finished with the first. We decided to go that route because if we had something that was in the 7th grade curriculum, but 8th grade wanted to use it, it's a very easy transfer, so that they could just take that set and use it with the 8th grade, 7th grade, up or down. But I mean, a ton of videos that go along with all of the, each of the excerpts and the stories that kind of drum up some of the excitement about the stories that they're going to be reading. Students have been interested, and one of the pieces of feedback I got from the high school was that they're doing blasts, which are similar to tweets. So they're internal, but they're responding to the question that goes along with the text using evidence to support their statements. They have to be under a certain character count. So it's kind of a neat idea. Kids are into it. One of our students had said, like, hashtag homework isn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So they're into it, but we appreciate your support.
And how many years will this unit be used? Will it be just for this year, or is it 5?
It's a 6-year program. It's either 5 or 6, I have.
The materials already purchased?
Yes.
That's where I had a problem. Can we start doing this a little bit sooner?
Well, we did have it for review over the summer.
Yeah, and we
But
had
this
it
is just a
when we
final-
did the other program.
Must have missed that day.
They were here, I think it was at a work session that you weren't, they were down here when we were doing the other program to look at, but we did have the 3 of them at that time.
All right.
This one was the one that was most liked by all of our teachers because of the assistive technology that comes with it. To be able to help our students at any level, whether it's advanced or a more basic level, this program really just outdid every single one. They all came with a similar story.
And it really matches with the elementary, like it's a good marriage between the two, where we've kind of been separated.
That's all well and good, it's just that we're now voting on it today, or well, next week, and I don't know, it would have been better to me to say, okay, we're gonna vote on it and then go and purchase it, instead of purchasing it first, and it's the cart before the horse, in my opinion.
We have signs this year, so we'll make sure that happens.
All right.
That's on, so we will make sure that that's fine.
So feel free to take a look at it.
Number 18 are revisions to policies. These are all currently placeholder there are some required language that needs to be put into these.
Right.
Do you want to read your?
Sure. The first policy is, and I sent all of these to you, so they're all in black highlight what needs to be changed. Most of them is just wording. In this first policy, this is basically that you have to state that it's Robert's rules, and you have to have a 2/3 vote of you by the board if you want to remove somebody from office or remove them from the board, and it has to be decided amongst you. That was kind of the change in that. In the second one, the adoption of textbooks, it really took the language and just made it simpler than what we had. Like, it was outlined in ours exactly, you know, each step that we had, you know, the teacher process and stuff. It just summarizes it shortly that, you know, we still have the same process. But one of the big things they took out was the cycle, that you would have to buy new textbooks every so many years, because a lot of school districts don't have the monies, and they had board policies that stated they had to replace textbooks, and they didn't, you know, have the monies to do so. So that was a big change in that. The wellness policy really was a changing, the next two kind of go together, was a changing because of the new law under ESSA with the drinking water. In the wellness policy, the only change was the word safe drinking water, but there's attachments to that because you have to have the lead tested in the water every year now. We always had it tested here, but now the law states that you have to. So there was links to that, which brings us to the next one, which is the maintenance, which requires that the water be tested for lead every year. And then the final one is child abuse. There were some changes to that in the law, and most of it was for trafficking, you know, kids. And so they added that piece to reporting, and then made it clear that we're mandated reporters, and you know, that needs to be done. So those were the big changes.
Thank you, Ellen. Number 19 is a handbook revision. We ran across a situation this past summer that required us to look at our current policy, which really was not as, I don't want to say as detailed as it should have been, but we caught a few things that we could be doing better in terms of procedural components and how we approach a situation. So this revision is for all extracurricular activities, not just athletics. It goes for clubs, bands, things of that nature. And it states that our current policies and handbooks, if something happens while a student is on campus at a school-sponsored event, participating in a school-related activity, you know, those policies would cover that. There's a portion in here that we added that if something happens off campus, not at a school-related event, but it's within a season or an activity time frame that you're participating in, then there are consequences. So the consequences, if you look on the back, the last page there, it says the first offense would be parent notification, SAP team referral, and a 2-week suspension. We did week suspension to be fair to the students who, you know, even though, you know, one sport might play 1 game in a week, another sport might play 2 games in a week. One kid might be in, TSA, and then, you know, that ends, but there was so much crossover with the activities and athletics that we just wanted to be consistent across the board, fair to all those involved, but at the same time, if there's any issue with drug, alcohol, etc., first thing we want to do is make sure we refer them to our SAP team, so if there's any help that we could provide the students, we're getting them help. There is the consequence, obviously, for that, and the students cannot participate in the activity without going through those recommendations from that team. The second offense is a 12-week suspension. The third offense would be permanent suspension from the extracurricular activities.
That's strictly for students, right?
I'm sorry? Vaping falls under, there is That falls under the tobacco policy, yes. Any paraphernalia, e-cigarette, vaping, juuling, all of that stuff would fall under that, yeah.
Students, right?
The students.
How about some of the parents? I'm saying that joke, but
I know you are.
I remember last year something happened at a basketball game, and I could see it coming again this year already.
At that time,
That's the only reason I'm
we
bringing it
would,
up. That would be,
Parents.
well, in a way I'm joking, but I'm really not, because I watched it, I was there watching it, and I wanted to say something, and you can't in a way. And what I'm getting at is, you know, you have, if you're away at another school and the principal of that school or somebody else approaches the parent, it turned into a contest. And it wasn't pretty, all the kids in the stands heard everything, and my opinion was that parents should have been allowed back in this, maybe not to any more games for the rest of the season or something, I don't know, I just think it's getting to
we
that
have,
point where.
we have put things in place in the past where, you know, through our security and through our school police officers and then just communication with parents.
They take care of it, the officers take care of it.
Right.
basically, Right, they have to.
Right. We can request that certain parents not be on campus, you know, given certain, for X amount of time or whatever it is. It is tough to monitor, but at the same time, we have in the past put things in place for situations like that. So it would obviously all be situational and depending on the severity, I guess. Bob, do you have any recommendations there from your past experience with that?
Regarding the parents?
Yeah.
No, just the letter, depends on the severity. Right now, you're talking about the smoking tobacco on campus, is that what we're talking about?
No,
We're talking about unruly behavior?
Yeah.
Because of course then, yeah, so we can, and then we can withhold it. Previously I've gone to other ADs and asked them, because no AD wants an unruly parent on their property either, if it's gonna be an issue. So, we've had issues where I've had ADs tell me to keep a lookout for a certain parent, and we've done the same, where we sent them information, picture if we have it, of a parent. That way, there aren't any issues. The letters, it's standard to send a certified letter to the house, you know, notifying them.
With the student athlete basically, right, don't take that home with them, is what you're saying?
No,
No.
no.
Okay. All right, just the example was a parent yelling at the refs, it kept going on and on. And the athletic director from that school, who I know went right to him and on and out, well then, that's where it all started. It was not nice, it was pretty nasty.
It can, it can. Yeah.
And the referees have the authority to remove them.
They do.
That's kind of how it started.
Yeah.
They had enough listening to that person.
And ultimately, the officials can also suspend the athletic contest
Stop it.
completely.
Yeah.
And
Until
ultimately, if the person doesn't leave, the home team, they can forfeit.
they can.
Yeah.
And we have been reading the code of conduct before each event, that, just a brief.
I was just want to say, why don't we just send the code of conduct home with the kids and for the parents to sign?
Well,
This is for the kids themselves, I'm talking about the parents.
No,
Oh, the parents.
But the consequences are specific,
Right,
or what the expectations are.
Yeah, that was your concern, so.
That's kind of what.
Right.
And Mr. Black is trying to be, I think, very careful in getting these back, because in the past they've been kind of spotty. So we're trying to get them, make sure that everybody does get it signed before they participate, am I right there?
Correct, and I just thought, you know, it might be best if we have the signature page on a separate sheet, because this past incident that occurred, I had a number of parents that asked for another copy, because they
Get your
just,
copy.
it comes home, they just sign things, I mean, we're all parents. They don't really read it until it actually affects their child, then they want to read it. So maybe we just make it a separate sign sheet, so they can keep this. But most of the parents, even the kids sign it, and they don't need it.
But this was thoroughly researched and reviewed Paul and Jen did a great job putting this together. They really worked hard on it, so thank you guys.
I have a question there while you're kind of in the spot on number 6, the students must travel back and forth. We've had discussions in the past about whether that was necessary, not necessary. Chris, I guess your input would be good as your thoughts. And I don't see the need to necessarily put that in here if we're going to leave it at the discretion, take it back out anyway. So what are your thoughts on the traveling to and from events on the bus?
Well, it's in the present handbook to travel to and for, and this one allows for.
Allows for, unless there's permission granted to do otherwise by
Which
the
is
coach,
just
so is it
basically-
necessary to put it in there if we're going to allow discretion, I guess is my question.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
I think,
the proper permission is just, so the thing is yeah, if they don't turn in the form and they disappear without the coach's, there's an issue there. Without the coach's permission, basically, with the school knowing, because our responsibility, of course, is to take care of the child.
Yeah.
From the time they step on the bus until the time they step off the bus, or until they're released to their parent. I had someone ask that their older brother was going to be at the game. Could he sign the form? And no, it has to be the parents,
Right.
to release their child if you're a minor. But so you are you saying that there should be wording that would say
Well, I don't know if
extenuating
it's
circumstances?
what and I'm questioning the policy in general, because I know, having lived it, our kids normally came home with us for varying reasons, whether save time, whether
And that's
it's
still, and
eating
that's
something
still in
afterwards,
place.
so it isn't necessary to, I guess it is just to get that permission slip.
It's still in,
to have
yeah,
this in
oh
there.
yeah, because
That's
otherwise.
I think it's accountability
Yes.
for us.
Yeah.
I mean, so that, like you said, so that a kid can't just disappear,
Yes.
and you're counting up, where is.
Or they just sign, I know in the past, some coaches would just use like a sign out sheet.
Yes, absolutely. Forever.
And they would just sign out, and then, God forbid, if something happened on the way home, it protects us as well.
And that puts that on the coach then, so that's something we need.
Yeah, but it
It's good to
protects the
remove it.
school district as well.
Yes, absolutely. You answered my question. It's more procedural than actually
Yes,
required.
exactly. Right.
It's,
Okay. Number 20 we had a building use request come in. However, in talking with the administration and the timing of this request, the request was for a wrestling match, correct?
Yeah, now we're talking like a
WWE
ring,
style,
in a ring,
with the ring and everything. And
but it's for profit, it's a for-profit organization.
That's a big dog daddy? My answer is no.
It's like that.
so, well, that, and the concern
It's
is,
that kind of thing.
yes, exactly. So,
Like that one that was over in Carbondale.
but just, we want to make sure that transparency.
were they planning on using our equipment, or not,
Well, they did